Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to your Calendars franchise mode here in NHL 25. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we had the conference finals versus the New Jersey Devils, and we finally have won a conference finals matchup. It only took another 7-game series, but we got it done in overtime. So our team's clutch ability in overtime games has been unreal, and it's kind of insane the last little run that we've been on, because after we basically knocked out Columbus, well, actually, technically, before we knocked out Columbus, we were down 3-1 against them, and it looked like our season was going to end early. Well, it gets extended because of an overtime winner from Crane. Then we win the next game. Then we win in overtime in Game 7 because of Makinen. And that game was in double overtime, if I remember right. So that sends us to the conference finals again. So in the conference finals, we take on New Jersey. This is the first time we've actually ever played New Jersey in the playoffs in the series. And first time I've actually played New Jersey in the playoffs since, I think it was NHL 21, if I was looking back right. I don't play the Devils a lot, it seems like, in franchise mode, which is interesting. So a little tidbit there. But we won Game 1, then we lost Game 2, then we lost Game 3 in overtime. Then we responded with a nice 8-4 win to tie the series up again. Lost 4-2, so our season was on the line. Once again, did what we kind of did against Columbus, where we won the last 2 games. 3-1, just like this 4-1 win there. And then a big overtime winner again from Makinen sends us to our first Cup Finals in a number of years. So this is definitely the best shot this team has to win the Stanley Cup this year. We are going up against the best team from the Western Conference, that being the Los Angeles Kings. So should be a very, very interesting series. The Kings have won a cup recently too, so I am a bit scared about that. But I'm hoping, since they swept the conference finals, maybe we have a better shot at beating them, because we've been to back-to-back Game 7. So we might be a bit more energized, or not really energized really, but we're a little bit more ready to go, so to speak, because they've had a lot of time off after their sweep, so maybe that's going to play a little bit of a factor. But we are taking on our former top-line sniper and Timo Jaskalainen, who's been there for a little bit now. Aside from that, you can see on their offensive side of things, they do have good depth, but they don't really have a super crazy good player. Like Theroux is probably one of their best players, but right now it seems like their second line is doing most of their offense, which is kind of surprising. And then from a defensive standpoint, this is the pairing that we got to watch out for the most, is Brophy and Neal. As I mentioned in the last episode, these two guys have been very good defensively. Brophy did win a Norris trophy last season to break up Houghton's streak of Norrises. And then Luke Neal's been a very good shutdown defender that also picks up points. The rest of their defensive core is pretty average. I mean, the Nabokov is really solid. Shields is good. Morrow and Nishushkin are okay too. So good defensive core, I'd say. Better defensive core maybe than offensive core. Tough to say with the depth and all that. And then their goaltending obviously is really solid, with Koskarant as an 89 and Tasaugas as an 80. Their depth options are okay players too. So they're a really solid team on paper, and I could definitely see why they won the Western Conference. So it should be quite interesting, this matchup. As you can see right now, in comparison in the playoffs right now, they're a little bit better offensively than us. We're much better defensively than them, though. We are better on the power play, and we're also better on the penalty kills. So if our special teams are good, and if our 5-on-5 offense and stuff like that continues to play good, we should be able to easily beat them. But then again, they did win the Western Conference. We won the Eastern Conference and the President's Trophy. So it should be a pretty even matchup for the most part. But anyways, before we get into our first Cup Finals in I think 8 years, let's get in your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about last episode. And then we'll get ready for this first Cup Finals that we've had in quite some time. So the first comment is from Andy6, who says, Makinen, what a legend. And yeah, Makinen's come up with some really huge goals. As I mentioned, he closed out the last 2 series for us, back against Columbus and also against New Jersey. He is in the last year of his deal, so it kind of does suck in a way, because I don't really know how much he's going to want this offseason, but I'm really hoping we could re-sign him and keep him here long term for the rest of the series, because he is one of those type of guys that could be a potential Channel Hall of Fame candidate from the series. Definitely, I'd say Crane and Houghton are guys I'd also look to for the series, but I think Makinen's definitely a guy that could make the Channel Hall of Fame if we wanted to induct multiple players again, like we did with my Albuquerque series. But let's go show you guys what Makinen's stats are looking like going into this Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, he's up to a 93 overall, so technically he is the highest overall player on this roster, which is kind of insane. And regular season wise, I mean, he was really good too. But so far in the playoffs, 20 points in 19 games, 8 goals, 2 of which are game-winning goals, and those were both series clinchers. So, yeah, he's just been a clutch playoff performer. A couple of years back, actually, when we did go to the Cup Finals last, I guess. Was that when we went to the Cup Finals last? No, that would have been a Conference Finals exit, too. Yeah. When we went to the Conference Finals one year, he actually had 4 game-winning goals that year. So he is definitely a clutch playoff performer. He was on our team when we went to the Cup Finals last, so he has a lot of experience. Basically, this team in general, I think what's good about this Cup run versus our first Cup run that we had with this roster is a lot of these guys on this team have matured more, so maybe they kind of understand how to kind of play with a lead or anything like that going into a Cup Finals. So hopefully it's good results for us. So a lot of these guys are kind of new from that Cup run because we didn't have a lot of guys. Like I'm pretty sure Kizanov, Mishenko weren't on the team at that point. Only guys like Crane, Makinen, Giordano, Houghton, Schaefer probably, those type of guys were on the team at that point. So it is a bit of a new looking team compared to our last Cup run, but I think it might be a little bit better just because a lot of the veterans that have been here for a while are a little bit more matured, like I was saying. And the last and final comment is from Simon Taku. It says, best on best hockey coming up. Gotta love it. And yes, sir, it's an interesting finals in that sense. Like, if we go to the standings from the regular season, like I was showing you guys in last episode, we easily won the President's Trophy with 116 points, but the East was running pretty much the league for the most part. As you can see, the LA Kings were up here. They led the Western Conference with only 103 points, so 13 points worse than us, but they did win the Western Conference, and that was only by 1 point, so they barely beat the Flames out for the best in the West, but should be an interesting matchup just because both teams won their respective conferences. So hopefully we could find a way to continue winning games. Hopefully we could find a way to just win 4 more, and we could maybe win our first Stanley Cup of the series in 2043, which would be kind of insane that it's taken this long, but I really hope that we could get it done here. So with that said, let's get into this Stanley Cup Finals, but first, actually, let me go to edit lines for a second, just make sure we have everything set up the way I kind of want to. I think this is probably what we're going to run to start it off with. I could take Gaudette back out of the lineup, because Gaudette's just been in for the last 2 games, but for the time being, I'm going to keep him in just because Nielsen, Andrew, and Delorier have been pretty bad defensively. That's why they end up getting scratched. So we'll probably run with this to start, see how it is. Obviously, if there's big issues, we can make some more adjustments. But yeah, hopefully this top line continues doing what it's been doing as of late, because this top line has been absolutely awesome, at least in last round. Really hoping that they could continue to provide for us going forward. And then hopefully guys like Giordano, Dempsey, Layman could continue to pick up points as well. And also the bottom 6 for that matter. Alright, let's get to game number 1. Obviously, we have home ice advantage, which is quite exciting. Hopefully, we could continue to win some games. We've been a pretty solid home team for the most part, but also we have lost some home games, so it will be interesting to see which team buckles first. I feel like this should be a pretty even matchup, except for maybe we play better defensively. And like I said, since I swept the conference finals, I feel maybe a bit more hopeful that we'll win the cup here. But obviously, we've been to back-to-back Game 7, so that could tire our team out, but also we could be ready to go. So let's get to game number 1 on home ice and see if we could build off that nice overtime game-winning goal from none other than Kari Makinen. First period, game 1. 1-0 Kings. Not ideal, but it's not terrible. Morrow opens the scoring on Nicholas on the 10th shot, or actually it probably wasn't on the 10th shot, but on one of their 10 shots in the first period. We had 14 shots, didn't score a single goal, so not necessarily the strongest start for Nicholas. Hopefully he kind of settles in a little bit more in the second period. I do like that we got 14 shots on goal, but I do not like that Koskar stopped them all. So can we find a way to get some goal scoring support in the second period? Second period. 4-0 LA. I do not like the looks of this so far here. I know it's only game 1, but this is not ideal because we are outplaying them, but Nicholas is obviously off to a really rough start here in this cup final. So we might have to go to Komatov for next game already, which is not necessarily what I was expecting. Brophy makes it 2-0. Theroux makes it 3. Reinprecht makes it 4. This game's probably lost already, which means we're going to probably have to find a way to win a game in LA, which is going to be kind of tough, but not a good first 40 minutes. Giordano does get us on the board to make it 4-1, but it's probably too late at this point. Nice little penalty kill there. We do make it a 4-2 game as Ragnarsson gets us on the board. Can we get any more goals in us? If we could get one more, we could still tie this one up, so Final 5 minutes, it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. So that second period's unfortunately going to lose us the game. And unfortunately, despite outshooting them 41-33, we lose 4-2. So the offense showed up a bit too late. We did get chances, but we couldn't score goals on Koskaranta. And then Nicholas had a bad first 2 periods. His third period was actually pretty solid, I would say. But we need to be much better earlier on in games, especially when we have home ice advantage in these cup finals. Our only goals are Giordano from Jang and Lehman, and Ragnarsson from Makinen and Crane. I gotta take a look at these plus minuses. Let's see. Schaefer and Houghton not working good together again defensively. Gaudet was -1. We might actually go back to some original lines. Komatov actually came in after Nicholas wasn't too good, so Komatov will be the guy for game 2. He will be the guy for game 2 because he actually got second start of the game despite making 18 saves and not allowing a single goal, so that's interesting. So yeah, we'll definitely go to Komatov for next game, but we are going to have to make some adjustments, I think, already after that first game, because that's not how I wanted to start this one off. We have lost game 1s before, like against Columbus, but it is a bit different when you're in the Cup Finals here, so we don't want to give them any momentum. Alright, so let's go to which lines do we want to adjust. I guess I'll take Gaudet out, because Gaudet is a sniper after all. Maybe I'll give Nielsen another chance, even though he's also a sniper. We'll throw him back in here. We'll keep Russell probably in down the middle. I could go back to Drew and Delorier, but for now, let's keep it with Russell. Aside from that, there's not really much else I can change too much with our forward lines. Defensively, though, I'm definitely going to swap Schaefer and Carlton, just because Schaefer and Houghton didn't work well last game, and that's the only defensive adjustment. And in goalies, Nicholas was pretty rough last game. He hasn't been as good as of late. I mean, he had 2 good games, I guess, to close out the Devils, basically. But he had some rough games against them as well. So we are going to give Komatov 1 game, but Nicholas could come back for game 3. It's just more to see if we would find the right goaltender for this matchup. So the rest of this is going to stay the same. So forwards pretty much stay the same, except for Nielsen draws in. And then Schaefer and Carlton swap positions. So let's hope that we can tie the series up, because obviously if we lose our first 2 home games, that's not exactly how we drew this up. And we really want to find a way to win the Stanley Cup this season. If we can't win the Stanley Cup this season, I'm going to be quite disappointed, because there's not a lot of other chances to win it. So let's get to game 2, see if we can tie the series up. Last round we had a back-and-forth series with New Jersey, so who's to say that this isn't going to be the case with the LA Kings. Alright, game number 2 in our home building. I was going to say in LA for no reason, but in our home building. Can we find a way to tie the series up at 1? First period. 1-0 Kings again. It's the exact same thing as last game too, because the shots are exactly the same. The goals are exactly the same. This is not good so far. Not good. I mean, Komatov, at least, he's basically doing what Nicholas did in the first period. I'm hoping he has a better second period than Nicholas last game, because obviously that was where we lost the game last time. So at least we're out shooting him again, but it seems like right now they're getting the better goaltending than we are. So we need to find a way to tie this game up in the second, or else this is not going to be good. Zetterberg with that power play goal for them quite early into it. So afterwards, it seems like Komatov kind of settled in a little bit, which is good. But we need to find a way to tie this game up. We've been generating chances, but we only have 2 goals so far through 4 periods. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the second period? Second period? 4-1 Kings. Oh my God. What the hell is happening, boys? Man, this is what happens every single time we're in the finals. We just can't find ways to win when we get here. Jaskalainen, of course, had to make it 2-0 on the power play. Ashton made it a 2-1 game, but then we give up 2 goals. Theroux and Nishushkin. It looks like they're going to probably be taking both of our home games, which means we need to take both of their home games, or else this is going to be a really tough time, man. Wow. We are just not finding enough. We are only outshooting them by 2 shots this time. We're down by 3 goals going into the third. This is not likely to be a comeback in this one. We just have not been able to find ways to score goals consistently so far in these first 2 games. We have 3 goals through 5 periods. And then our goaltending and defensive play is falling apart. So we're going to have to make some drastic adjustments after this game. But third period underway. Can we get anything else past Koskaranta? Jaskelainen scores again on us to make it 5-1. God damn, man. Why did we have to run into the best team in the West, huh? Why couldn't we run into, like, the worst team that made the playoffs in the Western Conference? Just absolutely obliterated in these first two games as they outscore us 9-2, or not 9-2, 9-3 in the first two games. Shots were dead even in this game, but a 5-1 loss. Man, this sucks. This sucks a lot. Ashton from Kazanov and Mishenko was literally a one-goal game at that point, and then their top guys started to take over. Their top line's also starting to do a lot more work than it was doing before, which is not good. This is not good at all. Howden was -2 again. Carlson was -2. Makinen and Karain. I might honestly have to split up the top line, even though it's been a good line for us at times. We need to find ways to get goal scoring, and Komatov is trash in that game too. So Nicholas is definitely going to go back in net again, but we need to find ways to score goals too. We can't rely on our goalies just to make a bunch of saves too. Like, this is where our goaltending is kind of showing its inexperience a bit this postseason. So let's make some adjustments. They took both of our home games, which means we need to take both theirs, or else we have a huge hill to climb. Now, we have came back from a 3-1 deficit before, so it is doable to come back from a 3-0 deficit, but I really do not want to have to do that. So let's take a look at Russell again for a second. Let's take Russell out of the lineup. We'll get in Drouin Delorier back in for this game. We're also going to take Nielsen out, and I am actually going to put Russell in that spot. So we're going to keep Russell and Drouin Delorier in the lineup just because they're more defensive. And then from an offensive standpoint, we're going to make some adjustments that I didn't really want to do right now. So we're going to move Ragnarsson down, Dempsey up. And then aside from that, I'm going to keep the rest the same. I could go to Lehman on the top line. He was actually pretty good when he was up there too. You know what? We'll do actually Lehman on the top line. And then we'll have Dempsey play Giordano and Ragnarsson. Third line could stay the same. Defensively, seems like whoever goes with Houghton is minus. Houghton's been not that good defensively. Same with, I guess, whoever plays with him. But we are going to give Lindsay a top pairing time with Houghton. And we will give Carlson some time down with Jang. I don't really know what else to do on the defensive side of things. And then hopefully Nicholas could get back to where he was doing against the Devils. So we'll go with that. Make ourselves more defensive on that fourth line. Readjust those top six lines a bit. And same with his defensive pairings. So can we find a way to win both games in LA? Like I said, if we lose either of these games, it's going to be a really tough hill to climb. We have climbed out of the hills like that before. But who's to say that we aren't gassed from doing it before? So this is pretty much a must-win game almost at this point, which is not what I wanted to be in within the first two games of the series. I wanted to have at least a split, and we lost both games. So game number 3, we're now in LA. We need to find ways to not allow them to score early, and we need to find ways to score more consistently on Koskaranta. So let's see if we can start clawing back in the series. First period, game 3. 2-1 Kings. Man, we just can't play good in these first periods either. I mean, we have been down by a goal after every single first period, so it's not the worst case scenario, but our goalies don't really come to play in the first period. Karain scores first, though, for us, so at least we were on the board first, but Connor and Jaskelainen score for them. Not good, man. They're getting that scoring in both their top 6 lines, so not very much liking that at all. Shots are even 12-12. It's a 2-1 game for the Kings. Can we contain their offense in the second period and find a way to tie this game up and give ourselves a chance to take a game on the road? Second period. 5-4 Kings. Well, I mean, we are still within 1, which is good, but our goaltending has been non-existent right now. So Savage made it a 3-1 game. Howden made it 3-2. Zetterberg made it 4-2. We didn't answer 2 answer Lindsay and Mishenko to make it a tie game, but Savage scored with 57 seconds left. 5 goals against on 22 shots. Our goalies are having a really tough time here, and like I said before, they are a young and experienced goaltending tandem, but they were really good for the first 3 rounds, and now that we're in the Cup Finals, they're definitely showing that inexperience quite a bit. Shots are in our favor, but we're down by a goal again going into the third. We need to find a way to tie this one up again, boys, or else we're going to be down 3-0. Let's see what happens. Third period, this is a big period for us. We need to find that next one, and Thero makes it 6-4. God damn it, man. Oh my goodness, they literally swept last round the LA Kings, and now they might be actually sweeping us in the Cup Finals too. God damn it, this I thought was the year. I thought it was the year, but we're going to have to reverse sweep them, it looks like, which is not going to be easy whatsoever. We lose 6-4. It was our best offensive showing, 4 goals on 37 shots, but we give up 6 goals on 33 shots. This series is probably over, and we're probably going to lose in the finals again. This is our first time past conference finals in all these years, and we can't find a way to win in this Cup Finals. Crane from Lehman and Giordano, Houghton from Mackinnon and Crane, Lindsay from Crane, Mashenko from Ashton and Schaefer. And then, yeah, their top 6 has just been too good for us right now. And then our team's just not playing good defensively. Third line was destroyed in that game, of course, just because I didn't address them. And then Jang and Carlton weren't good together. And Nicholas was trash. Goddamn, man. Crane got the second star. He had 3 points in that game and 6 hits. He was doing what he could to try and spark the team, but nobody wanted to help him out. God damn it, bro. How are we going to come back in this? The only way we come back in this is if we win in a Game 7, which we've been to 2 straight Game 7s already. We've come back from 3-1 before. We've came back from 3-2 before. I don't think we come back from 3-0, but it could happen. But we should at least be able to find a way to win a game here. But the LA Kings are so tough, man. I don't really know what we want to do here. I don't really want to go best lines because I kind of like our lineup setup, but I kind of want to see just what the AI would throw at us. So let's go best lines for this game because we're at a standstill. We don't know what to do. And it puts Mashenko 4th line over Savage. Dempsey gets demoted to the 3rd line, which is kind of strange because Zanov goes in the top 6. I mean, we could try it out. And then defensively, Houghton gets put on the 3rd pairing. I mean, he has been pretty bad defensively, I guess, so we could always put him there. He is still going to be getting top-line power play time and all that, so that's fine, I guess. Okay, and then who's starting in net? Nicholas. Oh, boy. This is rather disappointing, man, that we have to come back from a reverse sweep if we want to win. Because, like, I've been really liking the way the team was playing in the first few rounds. This Cup Finals, it's been a completely different team. Like, there is some guys I could crawl up if I wanted to, like Popov, who is a 3rd line checking forward now. But I don't think he's going to make the impact where he could help us win a cup. Same with Hilbert. So, I think we're going to have to just run this team and see if we could somehow find a way to reverse sweep a team in the Cup Finals. If we reverse sweep them, that would be one of the greatest things of all time, but it's going to have to take one game at a time, that type of effort. It is. Like, the goaltending in this series has not been there, so I'm kind of skeptical here, too. Like, you look at the first 2 games that Nicholas has played, both really bad. He's allowed 10 goals in 2 games. And then Komatov, who came in relief 1 game, was actually pretty good in the reliever part, but as a starting goalie, I mean, in 844, that's not very good either. Technically, he's been the better of the 2 in that, so I could go to him, but I'm not too sure. I think I'm going to go to Komatov this game, and then Nicholas could go next game if we actually get to go to another next game. But we're going to try these best lines results and see if the AI knows what it's talking about, because I honestly have no idea what else we could do. So, I don't really know if I want Dempsey all the way down there, but we'll see if he could maybe get that 3rd line going. Mashenko has been kind of okay at times, but he is a 2nd line forward and he's playing 4th line minutes. Not necessarily ideal, but we are trying these best lines just to try and get us to Stanley Cup. So, let's hope that we could find a way to reverse sweep them, but it's going to take one game at a time, 1 period at a time even, 1 minute at a time. We got to hop on into this. I don't really want to, because we need to win 4 straight games, but let's see if we could have a good first period and build on that, because obviously we've had some really rough first periods so far, I'd say, in this series. Like, we've not been playing good defensively whatsoever. 15 goals against in 3 games. We've scored a total of 7. We're getting pretty much doubled up in goals for. Well, here we go. Game 4, must-win game in LA. Can we win the first period? And can we win everything? So let's just go real-time sim. We scored first last game, so it'd be nice to score again first. Here we do. Okay, Kazanov makes it 1-0. They get a short-handed goal from a Finnish guy. Pekka makes it a 1-1 game. That's not good. Don't like giving up short-handed goals in games like this, or at all in the playoffs, I should say, for that matter. But it is going to be 1-1 after 1 with the shots 13-6 in favor of the Kings. So good start for Komatov, I guess, in terms of saves. But obviously our offense is still having these a little bit of inconsistencies, which is not ideal. So can we find a way to get that lead back in the second period? Let's see what happens. Come on, guys. Power play for us. We do not score on it. That sucks. Come on, guys. We got this. We got this. Pekka again makes it 2-1, but Drouin Delorier answers back. So nice stuff from Drouin Delorier, and Kazanov scores. We are getting some depth scoring in this game. Kazanov gets a little bit more ice time in this one. He scores 2 goals. Drouin Delorier gets 1 as well. Jang scores to make it a 4-2 game. Okay, we might actually be able to find a way to win a game here, at least in this Cup Finals, but obviously we need to still win 3 more games after this if we do win this one. Shots are 25-21 in favor of LA. We're up by 2 goals. Let's lock this game down to the third period, potentially. Third period's underway. Penalty kill. Nicely done, penalty killers. Power play for us. We do not score on it, but it does take time off the clock. Power play again, and we get a goal from Makinen. He hasn't scored since that Game 7 goal, I think, so that's a huge one for him to hopefully get him going a bit. And it looks like, in fact, we are going to extend our season a little bit longer as we win 5-2 in LA. All right, not bad. Not too bad at all. Nice little victory there. They shot us 37-29, so I think Komatov might actually stay in net for the next game as well. But it's always a tough call because you never know if a goalie's going to play bad in a second back-to-back game. But Kazanov from Ragnarsson, we had Drouin Delorier from Houghton and Russell, Kazanov from Giordano and Schaefer, Jang from Giordano and Ragnarsson, and Makinen from Lehman and Crane. Let me take a look at the plus minuses and see if there's any minus people. There was some minus people, but there always will be, I guess. And yeah, Komatov was good. He was good, so he's probably going to start the next game. Kazanov gets first star, Pekka second star, and Komatov the third star. So yeah, I think we'll probably keep with the best lines, I guess, and we will also keep the goaltending the same, but that is not good. Nathaniel Carlton has been injured with an injured foot. He is out for the rest of the season, I think. Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season. So if we want to win a Stanley Cup, we have to be without one of our better overall defensemen. So that's not good. Barker will draw back in, but that could be the death blow to this team. Maybe Carlton was holding the team back, though, too, so you never know. But oh, boy. Let's just go best lines again, and we'll readjust it accordingly. So now Houghton gets to that top 4 pairing. Barker and Lindsay play together instead on best lines. Yeah, we'll keep on best lines again. I should maybe start Nicholas again, but it's tough to say because Komatov so far has had the better results against the Kings. You know what? We're going to keep Komatov in net, I think. Obviously, if he doesn't play good this game and we still win, maybe we won't have him in next game. But yeah, that loss of Carlton is a pretty big blow. And if we end up losing this Cup Finals, that could definitely be a reason why. But also because these first few games weren't very good. So, all right, we're on front of our home fans, guys. We got to find a way to win here. We find a way to win in front of our home fans. We go to a Game 6. So let's extend the season a little longer again. Let's just keep on trying to come back in these games. We know we could do it, but it's going to take a full-on team effort. Sucks that Carlton's out for this game, but let's do it for him, and let's force a Game 6. Come on, boys. Just do it for your fans. Do it for your fans. Another real-time sim. Let's see if we can get off to a good start again. Yes, we can. Kazanov opens the scoring. Kazanov's been good these last 2 games. 3 goals in 2 games since being put into the top 6. So maybe he should be a top 6 guy for us next season, potentially, or in a few seasons. But that's a big goal again from him. He's been a pretty solid player on that third line, so nice to see him doing well with elevated ice time with these best lines. And Savage ties the game up for the Kings with 51 seconds left. That's a bad goal to give up if you're Komatov, because it looked like we might have had the lead after the first period, but it's going to be 1-1 after 1. Shots are 10-9 in favor of us. It's a 1-1 game. Can we find a way to get that lead back in second? second period. Come on, boys. Let's answer back. Penalty kill to start off the second. We killed it off. Power play for us, and we get a power play goal from Giordano. Our power play is starting to click a little bit, too. Nice goal there from Gio. Love to see it. Obviously, when our top six does work, that helps out a lot. But yeah, Gio's on the same line as Kazanov. And we get a short-handed goal from Captain Crane to make it 3-1, and he scores again. It's all of a sudden 4-1. All right, well, this team is starting to find their game, but is it still too late? Because obviously, if we win this game, we still need to win next game, and then it would be a Game 7. But this team is trying to make a huge push in this series, which is absolutely great. I love to see it, but I feel like we should have maybe won a game earlier in the series as well if we wanted a chance to win the cup, because we're coming out nicely, but if we go to a Game 7, since it would be our third straight Game 7, are we going to be too tired by that point if we get there? But huge goals from Crane there. Let's lock this game down in the third period and take it to another game if possible. Third period's underway. It's 3 goals. Can we find a way to close this out? Can we find a way to close this out? Looks like we're playing some good defense again. Komatov's still pretty locked in. He honestly might keep on getting the start. He might honestly do, as we are not going to win 4-1 as Brophy makes it 4-2, but that will be the final. We outshoot them 36-33, and we take a game in front of our fans, and all of a sudden, it's a series. All of a sudden, it's a series, because if we win the next game, it goes to a Game 7, so Kazanov from Giordano, Giordano from Lehman and Houghton, Crane from Ragnarsson and Holmstrom, and Crane from Barker and Ragnarsson. Best lines seem to be working well for us right now, too, so, because, yeah, guys like in the top 6 have been doing a lot better since these line adjustments. There has been some bad plus-minuses still occasionally, but Komatov is finding his game in the biggest time of the season, which is huge. So, Crane the first star, Komatov second star, Gio the third star, so I think it's Komatov's net for this Cup Finals, which is kind of weird because Nicholas was so good against the Devils that I was thinking he would be the guy going forward for this entire Cup Finals, but so far it's been Komatov who's been the best of the two. All right, so we'll keep it on the best lines, obviously, and then we'll go to goalies and go back to Komatov again as he looks for his third straight victory and looks to force us to a Game 7. If we get to a Game 7 after being down 3-0, that would be quite the comeback, because I don't think I've seen had the ability to come back from a 3-0 deficit in quite some time. We've obviously come back from 3-1 in this playoff run and 3-2, but if we could find a way just to win this game in LA, anything can happen on home ice. So, got to take it one period at a time, and I'm very scared to get into this just because I know this is the biggest game of this the playoff run so far. Like, we find a way to win this. It's like a chance that we could win the cup next game. If we do that, we lose this game, obviously our season's done. So, very nervous to press A and get into this, but it's another one of those games we got to hope that we could just take it to them early. Hopefully our goaltending holds up as well. Let's see what happens. Game 6 in LA. This is the hardest game yet because it's on the road too. Let's see if we could force a Game 7. Take it one period at a time, boys. One period at a time. Because if you take one period at a time, that'll be good. Houghton scores first. Nice goal from the offensive defenseman. I don't feel like I've seen him score in a while. Actually, no, he did score in the series already, I think. But good stuff from our assistant captain. Can we find any other goals on our side of things? Oh my goodness. I almost feel sick just watching games like this sometimes. Like, it just you just feel like on edge almost all the time. Shots are 15-9 in favor of the Kings after the first period. So good start again from Komatov. Houghton's been on his game too as of late. Can we find some insurance in the second period? Second period underway. Power play for us early into the second. We do not score on it. Come on, guys. Oh my god, I feel so sick watching this. I almost feel like I just want to go like, bleh. Final 5 minutes of the second period. Penalty kill late into the second period. We killed it off, and they tie it up, and it's our former guy, Jaskalainen. God damn it, man. That's not good. They're out shooting us 27-18. I don't like that they tied it. I almost want to just jump in and watch this. So I think that's what we're going to do. I know it's a third period again, but this is a big game. We find a way to win this third period, we go to a Game 7 potentially. So let's jump in and watch it. I wasn't going to jump in and watch it, but I feel like it's a little bit more fun watching a third period like this than it is kind of just watching it in Sim Engine and almost stressing out the hell out. But let's get into this and see if we could have a good third period here and find a way to extend our season to a Game 7. Because Komatov has been giving our team a chance. We are being outplayed in this one, so I'm really hoping that jumping in isn't going to screw things over. But come on, guys. Just got to find a way to get that next one. Because like I said, if we find a way just to win this period, we go to a Game 7 where anything could happen. So let's go. Mäkinen versus Stewart on the draw. Stewart wins it. Neil to Thero. He throws it over to Jääskeläinen. Jääskeläinen with it for the Kings. Throws it over to Thero, and it's Jääskeläinen, chance in tight. Komatov the save. It's weird that we've seen both of our goalies play so much in the playoffs. And that's a nice little picture there almost of friggin' Houtinen. That was Houtinen on the bench. I should have taken a screenshot right there. Just him smiling away on the bench. Mäkinen versus Stewart again on the draw. Mäkinen wins that one. Nice. Schaefer throws it up to Crane. Crane's had some big goals in these playoffs. He's been leading the team in points. Crane finds it to Mäkinen. Mäkinen shoots. Turned away. That would have been nice if Mäkinen would have scored there. Turned over. Lehman finds Mäkinen again, and a shot is blocked. Damn. That would have been nice again. Mäkinen's generating some chances. Jääskeläinen in with it for the Kings. Shoots turned away by Komatov as it looks like Jääskeläinen was looking for a rebound. But Mäkinen and Jääskeläinen, I think they were on the same line at one point, right, with us, so they know each other quite well. Obviously, one's a shooter, one's more of a playmaker, but Mäkinen kind of is almost like a hybrid type of player because he does score goals too, which is quite impressive for a playmaker. All right, Giordano versus Connor on the draw. And who's going to win it? It is going to be Gio. Schaefer with it. Throws it over to Holmstrom. Holmstrom getting more ice time because of the best lines. Savage over to Brophy. He finds Connor. Connor with it. Drops it back to Savage. Big save, Komatov. Yikes. They almost have full pressure. A shot to the net. Kazanov intercepts it. He's been good these last two games. Kazanov can't get by Thornton. They almost have full pressure if they get one more shot, probably. Holmstrom, nice poke check. Throws it to Kazanov. Kazanov carrying it up. Kazanov almost got slashed, but he got stick lifted, I think. Nabokov over to Savage. Savage finds it to Thornton. Thornton walks in, can't get the shot through. Holmstrom gets pressured. Savage with the puck up front. Chance turned away, and they literally have pressure if they get that next shot on goal again. We got to get some chances here, boys, to take away that pressure. Ragnarsson a chance in tight, and Koskaranta will stop it. Not really generating a whole lot offensively for us so far, but hopefully we can get some zone time here because obviously we are getting kind of outplayed in this one. But if we could find a way to still get that next goal and get into a Game 7, that'd be huge. Ashton versus Marcoux on the draw. Ashton wins it. Jang behind his back to Houtinen, over to Dempsey. Jang again. Houtinen over to Ashton. Dempsey with it now. Savage out front, and it doesn't find the intended recipient as Zetterberg has it now. I don't know how they still almost have full pressure after we were literally just in their zone. Like, that's the only thing about the pressure system that's kind of annoying. Houtinen finds Jang. Jang finds Ashton. Ashton walking in with it. Ashton still with it up front. Jang with the one-timer gets blocked, but he got all of that. Goddamn. Reinprecht over to Shields. Shields throws it to Reinprecht. Reinprecht to Thero. Over to Reinprecht. One-timer, and they score. Fucking Christ, no. Stewart with 8:32. Is that left in the period or into the period? I don't even know. But Stewart with a one-timer as he's left wide open. As we converge too many players on one, and Komatov cannot stop it. The Kings have taken their first lead in this third period. And that's not good. That was a 104.3 mile per hour shot. There's no way you're stopping that if you're Komatov. I'm not even blaming the players for getting in front of that, but our coach has taken a timeout already, which is maybe a bit of a risk, but he's taking the timeout, trying to find our way to get our team to get some chances, because we have not been playing good so far in this third period. There is still 11:28 left, but we need to find a way to get that next one, or else our season might be done. Barker over to Lehman. Lehman finds Mäkinen. Mäkinen walks in, shoots. Koskaranta the save. God damn it, man. Come on, guys. I come back with another huge success in this game, right? We've come back from behind a lot, so we can do it. But I am just scared in these situations, man. Mäkinen can't win the draw against Stewart. Like, should we have just, like, slow simmed this third period, or should we just actually have watched it? Like, I don't know if I risk things by doing that, as they are not going to ice the puck. I'm surprised that's not icing. Must have been because it was, like, off the boards or something. I don't even know. Come on, boys. We only got, like, under 10 minutes to go. We got to put on a lot of pressure. Crane was going to look for a hit, but doesn't. Here is Neal. Neal with it. Neal can't get by. I don't know how that got to the net. Komatov will have to be forced to make a save on something that wasn't even really intended to be a shot, I don't think. Yikes. All right, both teams, actually, they have their top line out there. We have our second line. So Gio versus Stewart. Come on, Gio. Nice face-off win. Holmstrom. Holmstrom finds Kazanov. Kazanov will dump it in. Come on, guys. We can't just dump it in always. We also got to be like playing with it in their zone. And we do force Koskaranda to make or freeze the puck, which is kind of interesting. Does give us an offensive zone opportunity because of a nice forecheck by Kazanov. Gio versus Stewart on the draw again. Can he win another faceoff? Come on, Gio. And the answer is no, he can't. Neal throws it over to Brophy, over to Stewart. Stewart gets hit, or not really hit, but poke checked. Here is Holmstrom over to Kazanov again. Kazanov has some space. Drags out wide. Can't get the pass across. Damn, man. Those two really good defenders are really tough to get around. Passed up. Here is Jaskalainen breaking his way past the defense. And a big save by Komatov with 6:27 left. We do not have a lot of time left, man. We got to get some chances here, man. We have barely been getting shots in this third period. Maybe I should have just stayed in the sim engine. I honestly don't know. I feel like it would have been similar results regardless. But Giordano versus Connor. And we do win that draw. Here's Ragnarsson to Holmstrom to Kazanov. Kazanov walks it, finds Ragnarsson. He throws it across, and it doesn't get to the intended recipient. Here's a 2-on-1. Connor walks in, makes the move, can't get by our defenseman. Nicely done, Holmstrom. Gio over to Dempsey. Dempsey drops it back to Schaefer. Schaefer gets hit. We're not even getting anything going for us, and now is another 2-on-1. Savage looks around, throws it to Thornton, a bomb, and that's blocked. Oh my god. This is stressful as hell, man. And we're only in this situation because we played bad in the early games. These last two games we played a much better. Last three games, even this game, we played much better. But it's just been really tough to come back against this Kings team. We still could do it, but it's going to take some work. Brophy walks in with it for the LA Kings, and he scores. Well, so what for that? Looks like we're going to lose in the friggin' Cup Finals. And I don't know if we're going to get another shot. We might get another shot, but this is a goal we don't want to give up. Brophy just walks right down in. Nobody even challenges him fully. He gets a shot away, blocker down in on Komatov. God damn it, bros. God damn it. I feel like we would have had similar results if we just watched in Sim Engine now, honestly. God damn it. This hurts more probably than the Oilers loss because this team was doing so good up to this Cup Finals, and then we played like shit for 3 games. These last 3 games we played much better, but we were that close to potentially finding a way to tie the series up and get it to a Game 7. We're still down by only 2 goals though, so we could still tie this up, but it's going to take a team effort. Mäkinen, Chanson, Koskaranta, of course, sees it. We might have to pull our goalie here soon if the coach wants to do that. Which, oh man, the Stanley Cup is out there. I forgot we're in the Cup Finals too for no reason. I did remember we're in the Cup Finals, but I forgot that the Cup would be coming out here soon. Which means Jaskalainen, our former player, is going to win a Stanley Cup against us, which is also not something I wanted to see really, but goddamn, man. This really sucks. It really does, because a lot of these guys are getting old. Crane, a chance turned away by Koskaranta. As of course now after they got their second goal, we're starting to generate some chances, but there's only 2 minutes left. Not a lot of time to get 2 goals. Brophy with it again, finds Zetterberg, and that's turned away by Komatov. I feel bad for Komatov because he's had to face a lot more shots than Koskaranta has in this game. We have pulled our goalie. Can we find a way to get 2 goals with an empty net? Doesn't look like it's going to be the case unless we have one here. Lehman finds Mäkinen, and it's offsides with 51.4. Goddamn. Why, man? We did all this work again to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, and it just doesn't work. Like, at least we got by the conference finals this year, but this sucks. If we would have ran into any other team other than the Kings, I feel like we would have won. Maybe. That's a good chance there. But when turned away again, Gio throws it to Mäkinen. Over to Lindsay. He bombs it. It's blocked. Loose puck out front. Barker can't get it in. As Barker's playing like... Oh, he's the extra attacker or what? I don't even know. That's kind of a weird one. Now, Barker was the defenseman, I guess, but Barker got a good chance in tight. Here we are again with our top guys out there. Can't win the draw, though. That's why we brought in Ashton, and he doesn't win the faceoff there. Thoreau tries to make a move around. Barker can't. Here comes Barker. Barker walks in, can't get the shot through. And time's winding down. We still need 2 goals. Crane can't get it. Crane finds Barker. Barker walks in again. Shoots. He scores. Okay, Barker scores, but there's not a lot of time left on the clock. So that goal that we just gave up recently, the Brophy, was pretty bad at this point. But we're still got only 16 seconds left. But Jeff Barker, the defenseman, jumps on in and puts this one in. Is there enough time to get another one? Probably not, because we'd have to pull our goalie too still. But that's a big goal. But if only we didn't give up that other goal. If only we didn't give up that other goal. That would have been a huge tying goal at this point. But still, that goal maybe gives us something. Maybe. Probably not, though. Savage got like shoved out of the way on that play too. Huh. Alright, second line out there against their second line. Come on, Gio. And he wins that draw. Here we go with 16 seconds to go. Ragnarsson, we pull the goalie again. Ragnarsson walks in, can't get a shot through. Niels turns it over. Kazanov a shot, top rebound. Oh my goodness, what a save. Another chance. Turn it away. Loose puck, scores! Oh my god, they actually came back and tied it. What the fuck? Oh my god. If we win this game and get into Game 7, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. With 4 seconds to go, Callie freaking Ragnarsson. Sorry if the audio all of a sudden spiked up like shit, but that was insane. Koskinen make a crazy save at first. Looked like the Marc-Andre Fleury save to win the Stanley Cup, but this one, they take out the cup maybe too early if we find a way to win this one. We might be going to overtime here. Oh my god, I gotta look back at that after this regulation ends. Holy shit, man. What the hell? Talk about a team of dynasty. If we win this game and get into Game 7 and win the Stanley Cup, this might be the greatest comeback in NHL history. What the hell? Like, look at the bench. These guys should be celebrating a lot more than that. That's the craziest goal I've ever seen in Game 7, or not Game 7, Game 6 of a Cup Finals. God damn. Callie Ragnarsson. Oh my god. 4.4 seconds left on the clock. We got to definitely watch the replay after that just because we probably should be going to overtime here. God damn. Thornton with it for the Kings. Makes a move and no. Oh my god. What the hell just happened? If you guys are watching at this point, you guys are probably like screaming just as much as I am because I literally just blew the hell up when I saw that. I knew we were going to probably find a way to score on that play just because we had so many crazy chances, but also wasn't likely. So I was like, maybe not. But my god, we got to go back to that play. Absolutely insane last few seconds. So we pull within one with the 16 seconds left or whatever. Then we win this face-off. We pull the goalie again. Ragnarsson walks up with it. Simple little play. Can't get the shot through. Still 4 checks on Neal, the best defenseman in the league almost. Him and Brophy. He turns over the puck. And Neal throws it over. Kazanov just gets a floater shot away. Big save there from Koskinen. Giordano gets completely... Actually, no, he didn't get robbed. He just missed the net. I thought he got robbed on this play. But he did not. He puts it off the side of the net to try and tie this game up. Which is absolutely insane. And then Giordano will hold on to this puck. Throws it out front. Kazanov will walk in. Gets a shot. Big save again there from Koskinen. The rebound... Since there's almost pressure going on, Koskinen dives out. And then this puck just floats around there. Ragnarsson finds it, backhands it in, and ties the game up. What the hell, man? That's insane. We got to get a screenshot of Ragnarsson on that play in case we do actually somehow find a way to win here. God damn. Have you ever seen a play like that where we score 2 goals in the final 16 seconds to maybe force a Game 7? God damn, man. Absolutely insane. Holy shit. Okay, well, let's get to overtime. We have not got out of the woods yet. If we find a way to win this, though, Game 7 could be one of the most craziest things of all time if we find a way to win there. We just got to find a way to get that next goal. We have probably momentum on our side. They did take out the Stanley Cup early because now it might not be awarded tonight. Schaefer finds Lehman. Lehman dumps it in. Also, there was a chance for Theroux to go for an empty netter, and he tried to make a deke move around a guy, so that makes it even much better. Like, he probably shouldn't have tried that deke. Here's Jääskeläinen for the Kings. Get away, guys. Nice block by Schaefer. At least his stick didn't explode because that would have sucked. Schaefer throws it over. Bad turnover. Theroux alone. Turned away by Komatov. Oh my god, that was dangerous. I don't know how that turnover happened, but damn, we don't want those to happen. Crane and Lehman out there. Here comes Crane. Crane finds Lehman. Lehman walks in. Shoots. Turned away there. Good chance for Lehman. Stewart. And it doesn't come out. Here's Crane again. Can't get by. Brophy to Theroux. Another breakaway. Jääskeläinen, no. And he scores a fucking Christ. Of course he does. The LA Kings win in overtime because it was scripted probably that they'd still win. God damn it, man. The LA Kings win the Stanley Cup against us in 6 games. God damn it. Of course, just because I saw that crazy-ass comeback, they find a way to still win. I don't know what the defenders were doing, and of course it's our former top-line sniper scoring the cup-winning goal against us. What is this episode, man? That is absolutely not what I wanted to see. As Savage wins the Conn Smythe for them. 27 points. God damn it, man. I didn't really want to look through watch their cup celebration either, but I guess we will see some of it at least a little bit. I'm just curious on who's out there for their cup stuff. I should probably mute Delgado once I get to the names on the cup so I can see their roster and all that, but this sucks, bro. It looked like we were maybe going to force a Game 7 after those 2 goals. Like, that was probably the craziest thing I've ever seen still, though. But they still end up finding a way to win it, as there is Neil with the Stanley Cup, so I guess he's their captain. Oh, my God. It could have been us this year. It literally could have been. It just seems like maybe they already had it set in stone that the Kings were going to win the cup, and then when we tied it, they still had that in mind. You know what? We're just going to probably exit out of this. I don't even know. Let me just mute this because I don't really care about the commentary over the LA Kings players. But, goddamn, man. So, Shields. Yeah, you know what? We're going to skip the rest of this. We don't care about their celebration. Boom. That sucks, man. What was the defensive coverage on that Stanley Cup winning goal, though? Like, I don't even know how that happened. So, what happens here is a great chance for Lehman, turned away on the blocker by Koskaranta. It's then loose here. Holmstrom pinches in there. Schaefer, what is he doing here? What happens when this turnover happens? So we get a chance in there for Crane and for a breakaway. Neil bumps him off the puck. And then it's corralled by Brophy. Yeah, Brophy is friggin' crazy, man. Brophy throws this up, though. Brophy throws this up. And immediately it's a 2-on-1. Wait, did Schaefer go off on a change? You friggin' idiot, man. What the hell is the AI doing here? Literally, Holmstrom just got knocked down, so he can't get back defensively. And Schaefer sees a 2-on-1 happen right near him, and he decides to go on a line change in a Stanley Cup Finals game. Goes off, and that's forces Houghton, who does not have speed, to come way back, and he can't. And, like, literally the first man back is friggin' Lehman. Just because Schaefer makes a really boneheaded change. And Jääskeläinen then gets a breakaway again. And he just sits this right under Komatov. Komatov almost got it. But the LA Kings win the Stanley Cup on that goal. Damn it, man. Schaefer is maybe a controversial re-signing in a point, because he's made some really dumb plays like that, and that's probably the biggest one we've seen. But I honestly thought we were going to force a Game 7 somehow after that goal that we tied it up with. But no. Man, what a roller coaster of emotions in this episode. Like, it sucks that we just lost to Cup Finals again. But almost forced to Game 7. But those early games really dictated the rest of the series, I guess. We literally had that chance, but we could not get it done. Unassisted goal on that Ragnarsson one. Barker scored from Crane. Ah, man, that sucks. Sucks a lot, bro. And I do not know what the hell Schaefer's doing. That was absolutely atrocious change. Like, why are you changing at that point? Damn, man. 1 goal loss, and we lose in 6. We could have got to 7 if we would have found a way to score in overtime there, but we did not. But that is disappointing. Disappointing end to the season. But it was very close to being a Game 7 back on home ice. Let me just get the confirmation on the AHL awards. There we go. Hershey win the AHL, and LA, obviously, the Stanley Cup champions. But maybe I should have looked at the player stats beforehand just because it might send some guys down. But this year was a good run. Again, will this team be back for another run next year? I mean, there's definitely a chance, but some of these guys are going to be on the decline. Like, Crane's already 33. Ragnarsson's not going to be on decline anytime soon because he's still young. But Giordano's already 30. Makinen is already 30. Both of them are pending free agents. So how much is they going to cost? Lehman, who we brought in from San Jose, he's only 27. I would like to bring him back, but he's also a pending UFA. Dempsey is still young enough. Like, a lot of these guys could come back, but it's going to be very expensive to re-sign all 3 of Giordano, Makinen, and Lehman. I'd like to hold on to all 3, though. Ashton, I think, is also a pending UFA. Yes, he is. Oh, boy. It's going to be costly, a lot of those guys. And then defensively, I mean, Houghton was good offensively, not so much defensively. Lindsay was maybe the best defenseman in terms of, like, just defensive play. Schaefer, I do not like how he played defensively in some of those games. Like, that line change was absolutely atrocious. But he was good in some other games, too. God damn, man. If we had Carlton for that game, we would have won. Tough to say, because Barker was the one that got us to pull within 1, so. And in goaltending, both goalies were pretty even. Komatov was better in the finals. Nicholas was better in the conference finals in round 2. Komatov was better in round 1. Oh, man. Yeah, Crane was definitely the best player by far. He literally had 8 more goals than Makinen, who had the next closest. And he also had 4 more points. That really hurts, man, looking at that now. I don't know how good our team's going to be next year. I really hope we could hold on to Makinen and Giordano, but let's take a look at those awards, wrap up this season, and we'll see if there's any retirements. But, man, that sucks. Goddamn. President's Trophy, but losing in the Cup Finals. The LA Kings win their second cup. Their second cup in how many years? I guess it's been a bit, but they were in the finals in 2040 as well. But Guerin wins the Art Ross, and in Burnett the Memorial Trophy. What am I saying? Houghton wins another Norris, so he did win his 6th Norris this year, as Brophy won it last year. So shout out to Houghton, who's still a Norris Trophy machine. Gargulio wins the Bing, Svatos the Calder, Savage for them the Conn Smythe we saw, Leg won the Vesna, and the Jennings. Ta'amu? Who is that? That must be a real player because I've never seen that last name before. But he wins the Masterton. Columbus's coach wins the Jack Adams, Archipov the Selke, Guerin the Lindsay, and Guerin the Richard. AHL awards, anybody for our AHL team? Strombolopoulos. Okay, shout out to Strombolopoulos, who has low elite potential but has not grown that much. All right. So there's that. Let's find out the retirements and see what we're working with in terms of like potential contracts for this offseason and all that. But I really hope this team makes another run next season. Utah wins the draft lottery, followed by Philly, Edmonton, Washington, and San Jose. All right. Man, any retirements for 2033? The answer is probably not. Matty Beniers. Some good retirements in terms of players. Michael Misa being one of them. Oh, Olsen. I think, yeah, we had Olsen for a little bit as like a depth forward, I'm pretty sure. So shout out to him. Left wingers. Anton Frundell retired at 36. Damn, man. We're at this stage where our team has not won a Stanley Cup, and our former first pick we made in the series were just retired. with Dallas. He was only an 83, but still says a second liner. Like, he was still putting up good numbers, but he's not ever going to have a Stanley Cup in his career. Shout out to Anton Frundell, though. He was one of the best players we had on this team. He won a Hart 1 year, but that's all he won. Goddamn, man. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. We don't win a Stanley Cup before Anton Frundell retires. Nuts. Nuts. All right. Oh, that makes me even more disappointed with the results, though. If we would have won a cup this year and seen Anton Frundell retire in Dallas, that would have been kind of cool at the same time, but it did not happen. Best defenseman retiring. Lane Hutson's already retired, so a lot of guys that are really young in real life right now are all hanging them up. Damn, man. Oh, Ta'amu, this guy was literally just an old dude. Yeah, he is probably real, because I definitely know that's not a generated last name. Reese Hamilton, he was a depth defender for us for a brief time. He retires. Man, and same with Noel Franson, I think, too, right? I think so, at least. Wasn't he way back in the day? Yeah, he was in Bridgeport for a bit. And he also played 3 games with us with 2 goals. So shout out to Noel Franson. Any goalies that retired that were interesting? Bjarnason. Alright. Yeah, damn. It's just setting in now that we lost again in the Cup Finals, or lost again in a playoff scenario. We gotta win this upcoming year, right? Kubalik retires in the AHL for coaches. NHL-wise, we did not lose anybody. And we did lose this Finnish scout, so if we want to sign a scout again, we should probably sign one in Finland. Alright, so next thing we got to take a look at: contract situation, progress reports, and of course the draft class. So we'll start off with probably the progress reports, the draft class, and then the contract situation, because the contract situation is the most important thing. We don't care as much about the draft anymore, but in terms of like growth, a lot of statistical growth, it looks like, for the most part. Guys like Lindsay are now top 4 defenders, which is interesting. Trotter's ready pretty much for the NHL, which is exciting. Give us a bit more depth. Dempsey's getting some growth. Holmstrom's getting growth. Looks like we're getting some good growth all around. I think Holmstrom's a pending RFA again, so there's going to be a lot of money need to be spent this offseason, so I'm a bit scared at how much cap space we're going to have left. In the system, I mean, we are getting growth from some unsigned prospects like Markstrom, which is good. Gaudette's probably not going to come back. Russell might not come back. Same with Drouin and Laurier. God damn, man. Looks like we're getting some growth, at least, with some guys. But I don't know if it's too late for that. Alright, so let's take a look at the draft class briefly. Where are we drafting this year? 23rd with the Flames pick and 31st with their own pick. I forgot that we have the Flames first rounder. So, let's see. So, 23rd and 31st. What could we get around that point? Anything crazy? Damon Robinson maybe is decent. Tough to say. I don't know if he'll go right around that point, but we'll pin him in case. Caden Corrado. What about May? Zane May? Doesn't look like the craziest draft class, too, ahead. There is a gem in Par Nicholas, who's just a generic top 6, but probably high overall. Hybert might be a little late, so that's kind of interesting. Hodgson, who's from France, might be interesting. Oh, man. Yeah, this doesn't look like the craziest draft class. A medium top 4 offensive defenseman. I mean, we could pin him. Any good potential players that are not supposed to go early on? Oliver is a goalie, or Olver, I should say. Rodney is a medium elite offensive defenseman, who's 19. He's not going to make it before the series ends, probably, but we'll take him likely. Cedric Taylor might be a medium elite grinder or something like that. Tough to say. Any low leads guaranteed? Yes. In Jalen DeKaiser from France. We'll pin him. So there is that. Okay, so the contract situation, this is where the most craziest part is. I do not know how much money we're going to have to spend this offseason, but I do not think it's going to be a ton of money. And we have all these big names to re-sign. Mackin and Giordano being the big UFAs. Same with Lehman, actually, for that matter. Ashton, too, maybe. Holmstrom being an RFA, and at least Kazanov and stuff we have more leeway with. But those UFAs are going to be quite costly, I think. So I am a bit scared on that. We also do have our goalie, Nicholas, who needs an RFA contract, too. And then Irwin's ready for the AHL, which is good. But I am scared how much money we're going to have to spend. Looks like we might have a good chunk of cap space, but we might have to obviously give the guys a lot of money. So how much is Mackinnon going to cost us this offseason? God damn it, man. I was expecting that. 6-year deal. He wants $15 million right now. If we go down to like basically where he could accept still, we might be able to get him down to like under 14, hypothetically. Like, we might be able to get him to, like, 13.875 for 6 years. So, you guys can let me know if you think that's a reasonable deal for him. But he's going to be expensive. Giordano is going to be expensive as well. He wants more term, does have more organizational interest, but obviously we're maybe a bit more attached to Mackinnon because of his OT heroics. But Giordano is going to cost us probably right around the same amount for maybe a bit more years. So, yeah, we might have to choose one or the other, or we try and still sign both, but the combined total on those guys would be like $26 million, which is kind of expensive. Holmstrom is an RFA, like I said, at least we could qualify him, but he also wants like a $10 million contract right now, doesn't have a ton of organizational interest. We might have to qualify him or something like that. Lehman, who we brought in from San Jose, would be great to have come back. He's actually relatively cheap by comparison to, say, Giordano and stuff. And he does have the organizational interest. So there is a good chance we could probably get Lehman back on 7.6 or something. But it is going to be expensive. Ashton is our third-line center. Probably won't come back, I don't think. He's relatively cheap. But he is a third-line guy. And he's listed as a second-liner. Tough to say if he would actually accept 5.75 around. But we could try and re-sign all those dudes to what they're asking for. But we also have to keep in mind that Kazanov's an RFA. And he wants a lot of money, a lot of term. Or not a lot of term, really. A lot of money. Not a lot of term. He wants to be a UFA in a few years. But he does have organizational interest. Which means if we do give him a 3-year deal, like he's asking for, we'd have to pay him over $7 million. So we'd probably qualify him. Same probably goes for Lindsay. He probably too expensive right now, yeah. Goddamn. Popov making the NHL is going to be making this interesting. Same with Hilbert potentially. So we probably let go of some of the depth signings for sure that we brought in over these last little bit. But the main guys that need contracts, that's going to be very expensive. Nicholas is also going to be expensive, so we'll probably have to qualify him. He right now only wants 5.55, which is a nice still trial run, so maybe we'd be okay with that. But yeah, this is going to be a really tough offseason ahead after that loss in the Cup Finals. That's why I was hoping we'd win, because then maybe we'd let go of one of Mackinnon or Giordano. But right now we might have to let go of one or both, depending on the contract situation and like how much cap space we have. But I really want to hold on to both them and Lehman, and then obviously all the RFAs and all that. I would probably be okay with letting go of Ashton if we do bring back Mackinnon and Giordano, but obviously we could bring back Ashton because he is younger and not too much lower than Giordano, and then re-sign Mackinnon only. But that's going to be tough to let go of somebody like Giordano. Giordano doesn't want an extension here too, so keep that in mind in the suggestions. So, well, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of In Your Calendars Franchise Mode. So it sucks that we lost in the finals this year. At least we made it to the finals, but it almost looked like we were going to go to a Game 7, and then all of a sudden it was gone because of a bad change because of Schaefer. If he would have just stayed out there a little bit longer, he could have maybe broken up like any chance there, and maybe we would have kept on going. Maybe we would have gotten to a Game 7, and then anything could have happened in that. So it kind of sucks. But this team should be still good next season, depending on if we sign all our players back again. I'm really hoping we can. But definitely there's going to be probably some players lost, my guess, this offseason. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.